York is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the gentleman from New Jersey yielding. I rise in opposition to this Congressional Review Act resolution. The American Lung Association recently issued its annual State of the Air report, which found that nearly 1/2 of all Americans are breathing unhealthy air. Despite all the progress that has been made since the enactment of the Clean Air Act, air pollution remains a major public health threat. And this is especially true in California, where over 90% of residents live in an area with poor air quality. Given this tremendous public health threat, California has taken the initiative, as it is clearly authorized to do in the law, to protect its residents, including through the Advanced Clean Car 2 program. We've gone over all of the reasons why the CRA is not applicable to this waiver, so I would like to focus on the specifics of the underlying rule, which will rapidly reduce tailpipe pollution from light-duty vehicles by increasing the percentage of new zero-emission vehicles sold in California to 100% in 2035. I would like to try to dispel some of the myths about this rule. First, it only applies to new vehicles. No one is requiring people to give up their existing vehicles. Second, it does not apply to used vehicles, so there will continue to be a robust secondary market for internal combustion engines. Third, I heard several Republican members express their support for hybrid vehicles at the Rules Committee. Under this standard, plug-in hybrid vehicles can account for a significant portion of sales requirements through 2035. Now, members also raised a litany of concerns about the performance of electric vehicles, that they don't have an adequate range, they don't perform well in cold climates, and they are too expensive. Well, as they are sharing those concerns, we have a Trump administration response that I'll talk about. We hear a lot of talk here today in this debate about executive overreach, primarily from the previous administration of President Biden. Well, I find it ironic that these complaints are coming while the Trump administration is actively working to undermine federal investments and programs to address these very issues. The Trump administration is illegally freezing billions of dollars at the Department of Transportation, intended to build out a network of charging stations which will reduce range anxiety and improve the convenience of EV ownership. The Trump administration has made the Department of Energy an unwelcoming place to work, resulting in 3,500 public servants leaving the agency responsible for supporting R&D funding to improve battery technology. Well, talk about overreach by the executive branch. There it is. Improvements to batteries will allow for greater range, improved performance, and lower cost. It has been very publicly reported that the majority is considering repeal of consumer incentives that reduce the upfront cost of EVs, all while giving people a choice, a clear choice of what vehicle to purchase. Of course, EVs, after the upfront cost, are proven to save consumers considerably through reduced fuel and maintenance costs. And even that upfront cost is quickly approaching parity with internal combustion vehicles, as more and more activity is existing out there with the manufacturers globally. If members were truly concerned about the cost of vehicles, they would speak out about President Trump's reckless tariffs, which are expected to raise the cost of all vehicles, EVs and internal combustion engines alike. Finally, Republicans have suggested that the EV transition plays right into China's hands. The reality is that the market, both in the United States and globally, is heading down a clean vehicle path. And at this moment, China has emerged as the global leader.
Time has expired.
I yield the gentleman an additional minute.
Another minute has been yielded.
I thank the gentleman from New Jersey. At the moment, China has emerged as the global leader, but its long-term dominance of the global EV market is not guaranteed. Here's what I know for certain. If we do not compete, China benefits and will control those global supply chains. But if we embrace this transition, we will give America's automakers and innovators a great opportunity to win the competition in clean vehicles. The bottom line is that every turn the Trump administration is sabotaging all efforts to build a domestic EV and battery manufacturing industry, and the attack on California's right to put forward more protective standards is part of that effort. So I urge members to reject this resolution to allow California to make the decisions it needs to protect the health of its residents and allow our entire country to have a better chance to create jobs and compete to dominate for the future of the automotive industry. With that, Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the time, and I yield back to the gentleman from New Jersey.
Gentleman yields back.